right. Says I'm live there. Post. Post. And post. And mute this. Then all right. And it says 3 watching now. All right, 4 now, actually. All right. Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercising my First Amendment rights stream style. And as of now, I am finished filming both best and worst songs of 2020. I filmed them both pretty much at the same time. I woke up a little early so I could have all the time I need to film. And yeah, I'm very much excited to be, to start editing these. And before I actually start editing, first I need to... Wow, I just realized I forgot to get the pop-up chat out. But I figured I would live stream myself making both of the thumbnails, because an idea for a future project that I have is something loosely inspired by the video that Sean from Diamond X Studios made, demonstrating how he makes his videos. I'm kind of wanting to do something similar, but one thing I allude to in both of the videos for this year, I've only told maybe a few people about this, and now you guys are going to hear it. I'm going to be moving next year, so I'm kind of wanting to wait to begin production on this project until, I get the new setup and all that, and get situated there and all that. But this is basically going to be a supplement for that, a companion piece, if you will, for it, basically showing how I make my thumbnails. I will not be answering any questions about anything that might be on either of the lists. This is just demonstrating the thumbnails. And a little disclaimer also before I start working on these is, how do I put this? This is only supposed to be a demonstration. Don't take this as me telling you that this is how you make thumbnails and whatnot. I mean, if you want to take from this video, if you're wanting to learn how to make thumbnails, or you're wanting to improve your thumbnails and you want to use this as, a little explanation of how I do things, you're more than welcome to do so. But don't take what I'm saying as the be-all, end-all or anything like that, because there are plenty of people that I follow that I think make thumbnails much better than me. Like a few off the top of my head that come to mind when I think of channels that make really good thumbnails. Nate Talks to You. He's someone that comes readily to mind. Who else? Stevie T said what you will about his content, but his thumbnails are great. I like Shoe One Head's thumbnails. What was another one? When Melly Misfit made videos, her thumbnails were freaking amazing. Like, they had no right to be as good as they were. I can just go look at my subscription list. Adam Neely, I like his thumbnails. ARTV. There's another one. Music is Win, of course. I like his thumbnails. P. Cottrell's are pretty cool. Saber Sparks are all right. Of course, I like the Right Opinion style thumbnails where it's a saturated close-up of the person with a pretty cool background. I like that style as well. Punk Rock MBA, his thumbnails can look kind of cluttered with stuff and whatnot, but overall I like the aesthetic. That's basically, what comes to mind when I think of, good thumbnails. And I think mine are not bad. I think they're good for what they are. But I don't want you to take this as me saying, my thumbnails are better than everybody else's or anything like that. So, with that said, now I'm going to do something I've never done on a stream before and go to a display capture over here. So, first thing I do is I go to this folder over here, my YouTube folder. I should probably get away from the Discord window. But we then go into material for video, then thumbnail material, and then we'll do worst songs first because that's what I'm going to be posting first this year. So we start with my least favorite part of the thumbnail process, and that's cropping the picture. So this is the picture that I took for the thumbnail. I'm wearing the mask because, it's 2020, of course. So the easiest part of this process is we're in preview and we click the markup tool over here and then click Instant Alpha over here. Because what this gives you the ability to do is click on a color and then drag down and it selects as much of that color as you want it to. And you don't want it to be cutting any part of you off. So this is probably the closest I'm going to cut it here. So then we hit delete, convert to PNG. Then go to lasso and then I'm going to scooch in. Then get those cropped out. But then the reason why I call this tedious and whatnot is now I need to zoom in very close to get any green off. So, all right. And I apologize that this isn't going to be much of a interactive stream, because my attention is probably going to be solely on what I'm doing over here. And this is hard because I'm not using my pointer finger. I kind of cut my finger today during a thing that I was filming for one of the videos. You'll see what in due time. Get as much of this green as you can out. And by the way, with this picture, one thing that I've done for years when I take pictures for the thumbnail is I always take the picture in front of a plain background and with some lights on and whatnot. You want it to look kind of bright, and the green screen does work for that. What I did in the past actually was before I got the green screen, I would actually take the thumbnail picture like in the bathroom because it was like the brightest room with the plainest background. And you want the edges to be smooth. Yeah, usually cropping or masking takes a lot of practice and precision. Yep. Now we get to the ear. Surprisingly, the hair's not looking too bad with the green. Ah. Smooth that out. Other ear. Smooth that. Not all that bad on this side. Right. And I'm gonna get rid of this. And need to go closer on the arm. that better? A little more here. Get that dark part out. And this should be all right. Save. Now go into the best songs one and do the same thing. Hooray! And this is the pose I'm making for the best. No. Gotta make sure I don't crop the mask out. Smooth. Friggin' lumpiness. Be gone. I apologize if this is boring. This is, again, my least favorite part of making thumbnails because of how tedious it is. Smooth. Smooth that. That's part of the chair that needs to come out. Feeling excited for your lists of best and worst songs? Oh, totally. Totally. Every year I try to outdo myself. I try to outdo the previous year. And yeah, this is one of those years where I feel I kind of struck gold, sort of. Hopefully nobody gets too pissed off by what I got. Wait, shit, that's shirt that needs to be there. I hate fingers. I think this is alright. Just like a dose of Buckley, would you do supplemental categories in songs? Probably not. I don't know. I feel like this format works for me. That would only be something that I would do if I wasn't able to fill out the top 10. But even then, I always told myself that if there ever came a day where I wasn't able to fill out either of the best or worst songs list, then I would just do a countdown about my favorite albums and whatnot and just leave it at that. So, now that this freaking part is done, then I'm going to open my trusty GIMP, which is the program that I've been using to make my thumbnails pretty much ever since I first was learning how. It's available on both Mac and Windows, and it is free. It's kind of seen as like a poor man's Photoshop and whatnot, but this has worked for me for a while, for a very long time. So the dimensions that I'm going to do, these are the dimensions that have been engraved in my head since I was learning back in 2013. So 700 by 394 are the dimensions I always use. So let's start with the worst songs one first. First thing we do is throw in the background. And you can see the image is very big, so I'm going to drag this down so the corner there is tucked in. So, and the way you figure out if it's tucked in is if there's any white showing if you move it around. Now it's all tucked in, and then we can unlock the aspect ratio thing, which is what this thing does, and then we do 700 by 394. There. And we see this hellish background because, again, this is 2020. So, now let's put a picture of me on. Come on. And then relock the aspect ratio. And I think I need to do a little more cropping on the head. So that should hopefully be better. Save. Then drag this on. Then size this down. Make sure I'm not floating. There should be. Put it there for now while we drag the 2020 on. This should. Actually, let's try making me bigger first. Shifting over a little. Then let's bring this down. There. Then let's go to do some little color correcting on this. So one way I do this is by going to colors and curves. But I tend to find that this tends to work better. Go into brightness contrast. Turn this up. Kind of need to see. All right. That's looking a good bit better. Then we go to text box and have it fill this general area. Top 10 worst songs of. And what color do we want this to be? Let's keep it at black and have an orange outline. But for now, let's actually... For now, let's turn this white so we can see what it is we're doing. Alright, and we're also going to go into my font book to pick a font to go with this. And since it's the worst song, we want it to be kind of edgy and whatnot. And if you're wanting to know where some places are to download fonts, the sites that I like to use are DaFont and 1001 fonts, which, believe it or not, that one actually came as a recommendation from none other than Razorfist himself. I remember commenting on one of his Metal Mythos videos, I believe it was the one on Accept, I could be wrong, asking him where he gets his fonts, because I want to know where I can get all the, banned fonts and shit that he uses to match it up with the album and whatnot. And he linked me to 1001 fonts, so I got a number of these from those two sites. No. No. It's also... Nope. Shrek. Nah, not feeling that. Nah, no, I don't feel like using the corn font. You get to see how giant my font collection is. I used this font in the Worst Songs thumbnail last year, so... The Linkin Park font. That's too edgy. No. Feel this font's a bit too generic. Certainly not going to do the Iron Maiden font. I suppose we can try the Misfits font. Actually, wait a second. Holy crap. I saw something else that I thought looked really neat. Whatever. This is fine. So, now that we got the font picked, let's even the lines a little. Fuck. Alright. So, now for a bit of a tangent about the next part of this. So, usually in the past I've done the outlines before doing the drop shadow, but once my Mac updated to Big Sur, it kind of fucked GIMP up a little, where if I outline first, it fucks up the drop shadow. And I also sort of had to change the way that I go about the outlining, so I got to do the drop shadow first. So start with this. We go to Filters, Lights and Shadow, Drop Shadow Legacy. Okay, now I gotta kind of see a little, make sure that I can... Shit, let's turn this up. Let's bring it above here so I can see where it's going. do it for this. Reshow. Okay. And let's make this 87 like the other one was. Yeah. Then this. Reshow. Okay. Let's bring it above so we can see what we're doing. 87. Now let's make this black again. Now here's what I have to do now for how I outline. It's edit, actually, no, path from text, right click, then path from text, then edit, stroke path. We also got to pick a color for the outline. Let's go with a orange one. So edit, stroke path. Let's try have it be 3 pixels. It's a bit thick. Let's have it be a little less. Now, going to move this. Now I kind of want to make this bigger now. .509 by 179. Wait, shit. What was the dimension of this again? 510 by 180. Let's move this on top so we see where it is. All right, and I think this looks all right. What do you guys think? Actually, wait, no. I still need to do the outline for this. So for this, it's alpha to selection, then edit, stroke selection. Let's try making it 3 stroke. And what the hell? What the hell's that? I need to move this. Right. And the 2020, I think I can leave. I don't think I need to add an outline there. So, there we have the worst songs thumbnail for this year. So now, let's export as top 10 worst songs of 2020. Export. But we are not done yet, because you'll see this part is kind of hanging off to the side. For whatever reason, Drop Shadow Legacy kind of does this. I never understood why, but the way I fixed that is by creating a new project. This is what it thinks the dimensions are now. We don't want it to be this. We want it to be 700 by 394 like before. So now we drag this on, and then do the tucking in. And then export as top 10 worst songs of 2020. And then we can overwrite it once it asks. Right. Now we can delete this, this, no, not that. This and this. And then go to the best songs folder, drag this background on that we're going to be using. More brighter background. Shit. What the fuck? I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm so angry that I'm going to quit GIMP, discard changes, and then open it again. $700, $394. Let's try this again. $700, $394. Scale. Then drag this on. Size it down. Then size it up some. Then get the 2020 back and bring this down. One thing I'll probably do is put this on and get the 2020 to be lined up. Shit, no. That's about as close as I'll get it. Delete this. Why is this being so slow? Down. Then brightness contrast this. Right. We don't want to use the Misfits font again, so let's find a different one, a more nicer one. I think I've used this one before. Nope. Don't think that would fit with the background. But I guess I'll keep that in mind. Phosphate. Ah. Frickin'. Nah. Too generic. Too generic. I like this font, but nah. try this one. Fuck. Can't use that one because it doesn't show numbers. Let's see if this one looks good. This is timepiece. Nah, I don't like it. Maybe it's because I wasn't... It's better, but I still don't really like it. Yeah. Nah, I don't think that one. And that's at the bottom, so now let's go to the top. No, I think that would be too typical. Let's try Brady Bunch. Oh, that doesn't look exciting. Have I used this one? I think I've used that one. I don't think that'll look good. Let's try this one. Nah. Nah. It still doesn't really fit. Do I really need to go to the fucking neon again? Okay, this I think can look all right. And the color for this, let's have this be... Let's try yellow. Brighter. Right. And bring that down. Now drop shadows. Filter, lights and shadow, drop shadow legacy. Okay. I can see this one a good bit better than the other one. Let's have it be up to 90. Drop shadow legacy. Then reshow. Okay. Ooh. I feel like I think it should be a different color. That's getting there. Path from text. Edit. Stroke path. Have it be 2 like before. Except, no, we need to have it be a different color now. Let's try having the yellow outline. Stroke path. Now let's actually try and see how it looks thicker. This should be brighter. Alpha to selection, edit, stroke selection. Let's have this be a different color. Let's go with black, that's kind of the standard. Stroke, stroke selection. Stroke. All right. I'm liking this. So now, why is this blocking over here? Shit. Export. Export. Now we go to new. Fix this. Export as top 10 best songs of 2020. Yes, replace. And voila! There's our best and worst songs thumbnails for this year. And yeah. So this is basically the general gist of how I make my thumbnails and what I do for, all these, any other thumbnail I make. It's basically these general things. Really the only thing that changes is, which font I use and how much, other images I might put in the thumbnail and whatnot. So there we go. So now go back over to main window. And then I'm going to... Now we can quit. And there. So, I'm going to move those up. Yep. So, that is how I do it. So, if you're ever wanting to learn how to do this, hope this was a good demonstration. I'm sorry again for the lack of interaction and engagement and whatnot. But, yep. Now, I shall begin the editing process for basically the next, 2 weeks. Basically, Worst Songs is planning on coming up on New Year's Eve, and Best Songs on New Year's Day. So, do I want to continue streaming for a bit, or do I want to head off now? How long have I been going for? Going for over an hour. So, yeah. So, doesn't really look like there's a lot going on in the chat. Basically just a few things. Thumbnails for me don't need to be too fancy. I just don't like rushed or extremely choppy thumbnails. The kinds of thumbnails I'm not really a fan of are when it's just a picture and a picture just sitting next to each other. I just find those to be really too plain. And I also really don't like if you're going to do the whole close-up of the person if there's just nothing being done to it. And tour when I moved in, yeah, that's something I'm planning on doing too. As for when the movie's going to take place, it's going to be between March and June. As for where am I moving, that I'm not sure I'm going to be specific with. All I will say is that I'm still going to be in Massachusetts. I've heard Pixelmator is a good alternative for photo editing. Thoughts you have to pay for it. It's only available for Mac, so I'll take your recommendation for GIMP. Also, for 2019, if I made a list for best songs, I would add Kygo's remix for High Love by Whitney Houston and BTS's Fake Love. I thought they were great. And they were on the Hot 100, so they count. How fitting you're using flames as fires in California and Australia are some of the biggest headlines of 2020. Yeah, those were both things, but really it's supposed to represent just how hellish 2020 basically felt. DaFont is an excellent place for fonts. I've downloaded probably at least 100 different types back when I used to edit certain things in Windows Movie Maker. All right. So, yeah. I'm going to head it off. I'm going to... Wow. So, I think I'm going to head off now and begin editing at some point tonight. So, thank you to all who chilled with me on this, and see you on New Year's.